Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bronson Soapbox, where I talk about whatever the hell I please, but mostly video games. This week I want to talk about the fall release season, and how insanely awesome it is, and how insanely horrible it is. It's awesome because we get an overflow of great games. Every week we pretty much get at least one good to amazing game coming out, starting from the last week of August, going all the way until, in all honesty, early December. It's one of my favorite parts every year. My favorite hobby. I get a constant stream of new content. We never lack games for 60-minute access. In fact, right now, as we're recording this, we have a backlog of posting for 60-minute access. And my friends tend to be playing a lot of the same games, so it's easy to join them. So when stuff like Halo, COD, etc. comes out, I can hop on with them instead of us all playing a different plethora of indie games, different hodgepodge of stuff, because it's the middle of July and there's nothing out. But there are some negative side effects on the game industry as a whole from this whole push everything to the fall setup. First, there's too much to play. Every year from April to about mid-August, and in all honesty, January to mid-August, there's very little to play. There's a game here, a game there, like about once, maybe once a month if you're lucky, but about once every other month you get a gotta have it, gotta play this type of game, versus this 3-4 month period at the end of the year where there's like 20 must-play amazing titles and you just can't get to them all. Like, I added it up. I think if you want to play all the major releases with a couple of side tier releases this year, it ended up being like $1,100. It's absolutely insane. It's not worth your time. So that leads me to my next point, though, where a lot of really great games tend to get lost in the shuffle, because instead of coming out in like July, where they would be the game of the year and have the big spotlight on them and be this incredible, amazing experience that gets tons of sales through word of mouth and a lot of credit, like Bloodborne or the early Witcher titles, or, just games that aren't of this massive blockbuster Halo status. Rocket League is a perfect example. Rocket League came out in July. It was a free game, but it's also sold millions of copies on Steam. But instead of doing that, they cram everything into the holiday season. Publishers do. And just a lot of great games tend to get overlooked. The list that overshadowed holiday releases, that list is long. Super long. Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time, Resistance 3, Persona 3, Beyond Good and Evil, Mirror's Edge, Project Gotham 4. The first Dead Space did okay, but it was kind of overlooked. This has been a thing that's gone on for years and years and years and years and years. And I think what publishers need to realize is people don't just play or buy video games in the fall/holiday season. I get it. The argument is always but Christmas. But these games are going to sell year-round. Like Batman proves it. The Witcher proves it. Bloodborne, this new IP on the new consoles, sold over 1 million copies and has been one of the best games of the year. And it's been selling like crazy. And it's a new IP released in the middle of spring. Gamers buy, and the general public buy, games all year round. I don't see why it would be so hard to put a game like, Until Dawn, instead of out in late August, where it has to compete with Mario Maker and Forza, out in, like, July. I don't see why it's so hard to put a game like the Uncharted Collection out in the summer. Like, obviously, development schedules happen, and you run over, and you can't put it out in the July or the June or in that area, but you do have to put it, but putting it out like the same week as like Rainbow Six, does that help you? Does that, like, you're just gonna get overshadowed? I mean, I remember a few years ago that Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out, and everyone cleared out of the way of that thing. Everyone did. The release calendar was barren except for 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, except for 2 games. The Wonderful 101 and Killzone Mercenary. Killzone Mercenary on the Vita actually did okay for a Vita game. And The Wonderful 101 sold horribly. Like, yes, I realize they're not on the same platform, but look, you can't put out the same week as Grand Theft Auto. Everyone's going to be playing Grand Theft Auto, even if you are a game as hype and as amazing as The Wonderful 101, which if you haven't played it, you absolutely should. But yes, that goes back to my next point of... I feel like they're leaving a lot of money on the table by only releasing in the fall. Because, like I said, Bloodborne comes out the same week as Halo, Call of Duty, Tomb Raider. Yeah, he gets blown out of the water, doesn't have a chance, and it doesn't sell like it is now. Comes out when there's nothing else around it. It sells millions and millions and millions of copies. You know, and I think that's the point where, like I've said, gamers play games year-round. They want games year-round. Why not give them to them year-round? You'll end up making more money. Gamers will have less droughts and more to play. And kids who like video games during the summer won't have to like double back on all these older releases or releases from last year because they'll actually have new games to play that aren't Rocket League. You know, and like I said, Batman and Witcher kind of prove this. Anyway, I'll be back next week with another Bronson Soapbox. Bye.